From Ohio's haylofts and tool sheds, driveways and blacktops where future legends practice buzzer beaters under dimly lit mercury lights, it's the show that covers all things high school basketball. Here is Northwest Ohio Hoop Chat. And now two guys who haven't had an off-season since the summer of 1969, OHSAA Hall of Famers and your hosts, Doug and Dave Kraus.
Well, Ryan, thanks for that. And, truly both of us, we're retired coaches. We are part-time radio guys from time to time, but we're certainly full-time believers in this time of the season, and we are excited to start our second season of the Northwest Ohio Hoop Chat.
We certainly are. 1969, that was a pretty good year. We were freshmen back then, and I've been busy since I was a freshman in high school. I think you're probably right. We had a couple of years in there, maybe not quite so busy at this time of year, where I was just kind of watching other people do some things for a while. But you know what? It's a fun time of year. Nothing's better than starting the season and getting things rolling.
It's a fresh slate. Everybody's pumped up. Nobody's lost a game. Those seniors are looking to make their final mark on their program. Sophomores who grew 3-4 inches, they're excited to get an opportunity. Maybe some new uniforms are being tossed out there, but the constants are what? A good old squeaky gymnasium with a lot of squeaking tennis shoes and some good old popcorn.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. As you look at the first game of the year, getting preparation, that takes you back to the preseason. You start back in November, of course. Liberty Center and some of these teams in the playoff, maybe not quite so that at that time. But you know what? It was always an exciting time because you ramp up to game one, and now game one comes, and you're nervous as heck. You have no idea what's going to happen come game one. You're ever in that situation, Davey?
Absolutely. If you weren't nervous, I would, something wrong, you should get out because, you were excited to start your season. It was a fresh start with a new group of guys. And you just never knew where the end was going to be. You were starting your story, and that was the beginning of the book. And you always wanted to put a happy ending to that story, but there's a lot of pages you got to fill in before you get there.
I didn't care if you had a seasoned veteran team back or a team that was a bunch of guys that maybe one return. Didn't make a difference. Your nerves are up, and once you tip that baby off, things kind of change. But up until that point. Wow, I can remember I just saying, what's going to happen tonight? And but nothing better than that. It is a fun time.
That's for sure.
All right, well, you mentioned this is our second season getting started here with the Northwest Ohio Hoop Chat, and we got some new sponsors on board this year. Why don't you talk about those for a minute, Doug?
Oh, we certainly will. What's a lot of fun about this is we have a new title sponsor. We have Terry Hendricks Auto Group, who has agreed to be our title sponsor. So we're going to be driven by the Terry Hendricks Auto Group, and we want to thank them for being our title sponsor. And we also want to send our condolences to the Hendrick family on Terry's tragic passing here recently. What a great man he was, and he always will be remembered. And I know his company is going to keep working hard and will make him continue to be proud of them. We also have 3 sponsors back from last year. Innovatech is back, D&G Welding, and S&W Mills, all from Archbold, are back with us, and we certainly appreciate all 3 of those companies. We then also have 4 new sponsors this year, Throny, and that includes Thiel Construction out of Blakesley, Ohio, and they do a lot of buildings around here. And if the people drive by the Archbold High School, they'll see one of their new handiwork going on out north of the building in our MAC facility that they're involved with. Viking Trucking out of Ridgeville, and if you need some things delivered and transported, Viking Trucking out of Ridgeville is your opportunity there. American Freedom Energy and Grandma's General Store out of the Liberty Center is a new sponsor for us, and we thank them. If you need get some new fuel in your car, or you need to stop and get a couple of baked goods, the Freedom Energy and Grandma's General Store is a good place to be. Dave, you been there?
Absolutely, and I always pick up some of the famous Pettisville meats or the Statler meats out on the point there. It's a must stop.
Well, and then our 4th and new sponsor is the Sherwood State Bank, your community bank. They have branches in Sherwood, Fayette, Defiance, and now Archbold. So we thank all of our sponsors, and we're looking forward to a great year.
All right, we got a full show on tap here for our tip-off episode. And when I say tip-off, Kraus, Doug, you and I are going to be tipping off here just shortly with the Archbold Edgerton broadcast from the Thunderdome. But here's what we have on tap for this upcoming hour program in Hoop Chat episodes, Season 2, episode number 1. We're going to start with Todd Grosjean, then followed by Chad Burt, Travis Arkwright, Scott McMichael, Bryan Leppelmeier, and Kris Lymanstall. So 6 coach interviews here. Why don't we get to that Coach's Corner right away?
Hey, we want to welcome our first coach of the season in Season 2 to the Hoop Chat. That's Todd Grosjean. Todd's the head coach of the Lady Golden Bears. 19th season already at Bryan and 26th overall. Hey, welcome, Todd.
Thanks for having me.
Time goes fast when you're having fun, huh, Todd?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun over here.
Well,
you don't have any gray hair either.
Well, yeah, I do. I just keep it cut pretty short.
Okay.
Your wife does a good job at that.
Yeah.
Hey, let's get started here. You're 2-2. Had a tough loss last night to a nice Wayne Trey squad. Tell you what, why don't you just give us a rundown on your 2025-26 season or your team?
Well, it's been kind of a roller coaster. We had high expectations going in, and unfortunately, we lost a couple seniors to season-ending injuries. Dislocated ankle last year right before the PH game with Gabby Mossberg. And then Ava Zimmerman, our point guard, went down in the Archbold soccer game to an ACL injury, non-contact. So we've lost our point guard and probably our best defender and 2 of our quicker kids. So we've had to make adjustments there, and it's been, healing up from a soccer season that, we had some kids banged up and in boots and high ankle sprains. So I think our last scrimmage with Perrysburg, we finally had everybody in uniform, and we've been kind of throwing kids to the wolves, so to speak.
Yeah, I understand that. How about that? How about some kids that you are throwing to the wolves? Why don't you give us some names?
Well, we've got a couple letter winners back in Josie Arnold. She's a 4-year letter or 3-year letter winner. She'll be a 4-year letter winner. Mm-hmm. She kind of makes us go. She really had a great season last year. I think she was co-player of the year in the district, first team all-league. Avery Ann Fisher's a sophomore. She was second team all-league last year as a freshman. She's back. Piper Hannah is a junior that played a lot for us last year, got thrown into the mix because of some injuries to Gabby and so forth. But she's done a nice job, and Amaya Langham's back, and she's filled Ava Zimmerman's vacancy at the point.
Well, good. Sounds like they're coming together, and it's early season. You've gotten 4 games, like I said, 2-2, and you got some things you can keep working on. Reasons to practice.
Absolutely.
Well, how about this? You look at your squad as you look like tomorrow night. You got Paulding here at home, and they've been pretty good here. What do you think of the Paulding Panthers tomorrow?
Well, seeing them on film, and they pretty much have everybody back, as does about everybody in Northwest Ohio, it seems like, including our league. They got a nice squad coming back. They've got some size. So to contend with, and we'll have our hands full, even though it was only, I think, a 7-point game down at Paulding last year. But they've got some kids back that are going to be problems for us.
Well, you mentioned the league having some solid returners. Let's kind of take a look and dive into the league, your league opponents. We're going to call this little segment, Todd, a drive-by breakdown. So I'm going to give you the name of the school. Just give us a quick phrase that comes to mind as you think about that particular school. Let's start right at the top. Archbold.
Obviously, a couple of really good seniors in Charlie Forward and Miley Gerke. And Brian Ziegler does a great job with his program and just bringing kids in to fill vacancies every year.
Okay. Let's jump to the Delta Panthers.
Delta, again, as I said before, they've got kids coming back, the Lohman girl and the Wise girl. They graduated a couple key seniors in terms of leadership, but they're going to be a handful.
New coach at Evergreen. Let's talk about the Lady Vikings.
They've having seen them on film, they're playing hard. They've got a couple girls that return as well that were all league, and if he gets them all on the same page and keeps getting kids to stick with it, I think they're going to be okay. We don't see them until the end of the year, so I'm sure they'll be improved.
Absolutely. Let's jump to Henry County, Liberty Center.
Liberty Center, they were hit by graduation a couple years ago, same as we were. Last year, they had some new faces, and we saw them this summer. And Tim does a great job with the kids he gets out, and they play extremely hard. And again, we won't see them till January, but they'll give us all we want.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's jump to the other side of the river in Henry County. Patrick Henry loaded, just loaded. They've got kids at every level, clear down into the junior high grades, and they've done a nice job over there. Coach Sonnenberg's got his kids playing hard. I think they stubbed their toe here against Miller City, but we saw Miller City in a scrimmage, and they're legit. Mm-hmm. Okay. Another new coach over at Swanton. Give us a take on the Bulldogs.
Well, obviously they've got some numbers issues, as do a lot of schools in the area, but I think Coach Good will get that turned around, hopefully, and get some kids out, and hopefully they've established a younger, youth program, because that's kind of where your bread's buttered. And
finally, the Wauseon Indians.
Wauseon Indians, they were hit by graduation a little bit, but they've got some key components in the Rupp and Coronado girl and Leatherman, so they'll be in the hunt.
One quick thing, you alluded to lack of numbers, and that's across the board, boys and girls programs. Any sentiment as to why you feel that's the case?
Well, I think it's a combination of things. Obviously, basketball is a long season. It's a grind. It's one of the sports you got to spend probably the most time at if you want to be good at. We've got some, kids that are, specializing in other sports, thinking that's going to be their avenue to the next level. And, I think that's going on, all over the area.
Okay.
Well, Todd, we appreciate your time here, and we know that you are going to keep working on those Lady Bears and get them back where you want them to get and where they want to get. And appreciate your time. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Well, thanks for having us, coaches.
All right.
Thanks, Todd.
Yep. Want to welcome head coach Chad Burt from the Wauseon Indians to our Hoop Chat. Chad, how you doing?
Absolutely, man. And time is here, and best time of the year, in my opinion. We're starting off the hoop season, college playoff, football kicking in. Don't get any better in my mind.
You got it. Hey, you're the dean of the NWOAL coaches, if you don't count Joe Frank's 30-some years as an assistant. You're number 18. Boy, time flies, doesn't it?
It flies. For years I looked at you and Coach Burguy and the other coach, both Coach Krause's and Coach Burguy and Coach Kiefer, and man, those guys are old, and they're the dean of the NWOAL. And geez, oh Pete, here I am, and like you said, time flies.
Well, how about this? We coached when you were playing, so that makes us feel pretty darn old as well. So I understand where you're coming from.
That puts a little perspective, doesn't it?
Well, let's take a look at your Indians. You lost a bunch of good seniors last year, and you ended with a 10-12 record last year. But you know what? I look at your season last year. Man, oh man, did you play a lot of close games, and you play a pretty competitive schedule as well.
I think that sort of defined our season. Was we were 10-12, and yet you look back on it, we had the lead, and you guys know the cliche is close games come down to coaching, so maybe we better be looking elsewhere. But we had the lead in the second half of every single league game, and yet we realistically we truly could have gone 7-0. Like I said, we had the lead in every game, and yet realistically we could have gone 1-6, 0-7, and I think that's about where we were at, where our margin for error was so thin last year that it came down to late possessions, and sometimes a little luck involved. Maybe we made a shot or two and the opponents missed a shot or two, and then some of it was self-imposed that we made some mistakes on the court that cost us games. But that's the kind of team we had. We were good enough to win some games, and we were just not quite good enough to win a few other games. But the thing I'll say about last year's team, they were extremely coachable. They did exactly in terms of preparation what we asked them to do. We were very senior laden, as you said. We had 7 seniors, and just a great group of kids. And the record doesn't always reflect the joy that comes into at the end of the season for sure.
I understand that for sure, as well as Dave does too. As you look at this year, your traditional opener with Archbold got postponed, and now you open up on Saturday night. I think you go to the Fairview. Let's look at your squad this year. How's things have been looking in the early season for you?
Well, we've been happy. We had a nice off season. We've been pretty locked into our off season for, well, I guess the last 18 years, but even previous to me under Coach Burguy, we go down to Findlay for a week as Coach Kraus knows that we really enjoy that time away. It's far enough that we play opposing teams that we don't see, and yet it's close enough that we're not on the road for 5 hours. And I really think that it does a great job of unifying our group. And kind of building. We do it. It's kind of an earlier in the summer that it does a nice job of building some of that unity, and then kind of snowballs into the season. As we just said, we lost 7 seniors. We're kind of spearheaded by Riley Reedsacker, who was a sophomore for us last year that got some good minutes and was an all-league and all-district performer. So he's really our lone returning letter winner with significant experience at the varsity level. We're going to look at him for a lot of things. We're going to look at him for scoring, for leadership, potentially to defend sometimes our opponent's best player. He understands the speed, the physicality of the game. So he's done a nice job of bringing that to practice. We've got 9 total juniors and seniors, and I'll just list them all just so I don't make sure I don't miss anybody. Xavier Molina, junior, Kyle Minetti, senior, Jack Allstetter, senior, who had a year off and is coming back to us. McGuire Wilson, same, was a senior. Sladen DeReden, Bodie Vasbury is a senior, Brody Shehorn is a junior, and Tyler Rodriguez is a junior. So they've been, again, a very coachable group of kids, very, very inexperienced at the varsity level. But again, just sponges, trying to do everything we ask of them. And again, you guys know as coaches, that's all you can ask of them, and go out and prepare like, like you should, and let the chips fall where they may at some point.
Well, we know your background and your track record, Chad, speaks for itself in bringing teams along. So I'm sure this group will be no different. Let's jump to your league opponents. Let's do a drive-by breakdown of all the other schools. So let's start right at the top to your Fulton County friend, Archbold. What comes to mind when you think of Archbold?
Respect. Hopefully mutual respect, but definitely respect on our end.
Yep.
Rival. I don't know if I'm limited to one word, but we're going to probably expand on more than one word because it's hard to talk about Archbold in one word. Obviously, with Coach Kraus and now Coach Frank and the predecessors even before that, I think there's some mutual respect there. We always kind of joke for 363 days of the year we're friends, and about 2 days of the year we're about 2 hours of 2 days of the year we're not real good friends, but that's okay too. I think that's what a rivalry is, and when you step off the court, you shake each other's hand and say great job, win or lose, because you know that we're walking a lot in the same shoes. We're preparing hard, and like I said, just that mutual respect makes it a lot of fun. And we can throw stones at each other's houses for as close as Wauseon and Archbold are, and I think that feeds into it for sure too.
What about a quick phrase and thoughts about Bryan?
Bryan is, I think they're up and coming. I think they got a good young coach in there, and I think he's trying to do some good things. I know they got some really good young classes coming along, and I think it's exciing times. They had a great 20-point win against Tinora the other night that I think he's going to certainly use as a building block. And so, again, I would say up and coming.
Delta.
Well coached. They seem to win. Is there wood around here? Because we were one of them last year. They seem to win games that they just hang around. Then all of a sudden you look up and they're beating teams. Coach Bright and the zone defenses that I say defenses because you watch 4 different games and I think they play 8 different zones, but he would probably tell you it's basically the same zone, but the way they morph and the way that they coach and the way that they, again, just try to take away your strengths. They do a great job. And then with their motion offense, you better be ready to guard because they're going to screen the heck out of you and take good shots. So again, I think he does a great job over there.
What about Coach Bo and the wonderful beard and his evergreen Vikings?
That's tough to match, isn't it? Pace pace. They have some athletes right now. They just really want to get up and down, and he does a great job of kind of turning them loose. Not intelligently turning them loose, I guess I would say. It's not a free for all. He does a good job over there. But right now, man, they got athletes and they want to get out and go and pressure you and get up and down the court. And again, I think they're very capable of making a nice run and definitely making some noise in the league this year.
A couple of Henry County foes. Let's start with Liberty Center.
Athletic, physical. I think one thing that has and is kind of in a process of changing with Liberty Center, I think they were maybe athletes first and basketball players second for a number of years. And I think that's in the process of changing. And they're certainly not losing their athleticism.
No.
I mean, look at what their football teams are doing, a lot of the same names on the basketball court. So it's not a matter of losing athletes. It's a matter of, I think Coach Badenhop has I don't know how he's done it, but he's infiltrated the football system and he's getting those guys in the basketball court and their skills are getting better. And I think that, again, just when you combine that athleticism with that, again, what I would say basketball now, again, a very, very dangerous team.
Okay, Patrick Henry.
Two best players in the league. I think if you start at the top, I think, when you obviously we talk about Krieger and Heber, the two best players in the league, and I think that's kind of hard to argue at this point. But they do a great job of getting those guys open and getting them points. And the thing that I think is impressive about them, they get their points kind of in the flow. They don't necessarily have to force and what I would call, or probably you would call, my turn offense, and they kind of, clear out and just got up each other's way. They do a good job of again, he does a good job with set action, with isolations, and really puts them in a prime position to score. And then they got guys around them that can play too. But I think when you start with PH, you definitely start at the top with those two kids. And probably I'm probably 8 for 8, or maybe Coach Heber didn't vote himself, but probably 7 for 8 in terms of voting them at the top of the league this year.
And the new coach at Swanton.
Yeah, new coach. Their guard play is going to be very good. Again, they're not blessed with a ton of size, but we saw them this summer, and they got some guards that can score it. I think when you think about Swanton recently, anyway, you think about Charlie Wood, the big kid inside, but at the same time, they were playing a bunch of young guards around him. And he got a lot of the headlines and so forth, as well he should have, because he was a heck of a player. But the thing that I think went under the radar is they were really developing some good young guard talent, and that didn't really have to step into limelight, whereas now they're going to have to. But again, I think they've done a great job of developing that good young guard talent, and those kids, I'm sure, are ready to shine and bust out for themselves.
Hey, well, thanks for giving us a quick rundown and get your thoughts on those teams.
Yeah, and I agree. That's some good stuff there, Bertie, and appreciate your time and looking forward to see your 2026 version of the Indians coming up. We'll see you here in early December when you make your makeup game with Archbold, and wish you the best. Saturday night as you start your season and throughout the season as well. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Chad. Good luck.
Yep.
Thank you.
Want to welcome head coach Travis Arkwright from the Fayette Eagles to our show. Travis, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Love to be on here, guys, talk some basketball.
Well, you know what? It's that time of year, and as this is your second year, last year as first-year head coach, you came in 11-12 with your Eagle, and got to the district semis for the first time in the schools since 2016, I think I read someplace. And what was really interesting, those 11 wins was more wins than that Eagles had the previous 4 years combined. That's pretty impressive in your first year.
Yes, it's a nice step in progress for us right there. I mean, it's a lot of credit to our girls that are in our program right there. I mean, they've had some success in the junior high level right there, and for whatever reason, it hasn't translated to the varsity level right there. But I mean, they did a great job of taking coaching and trying to apply what we've been trying to teach them in practice and carrying over the games right there. And probably our biggest thing was early in the year last year it's like getting some early wins in the season right there to build some confidence in themselves right there. And we started beating some teams that we were probably better than. That was the start right there. Then we got to the point in the season where we started competing against teams that we probably shouldn't beat on our schedule and then win some of those games right there. So that just breeds a lot of success right there in year one.
Oh, that's great. As you look at this year's squad, then you have 6 letter winners back. Why don't you give us a little rundown on this year's Lady Eagles?
So far, we're off 3-1. So they had a nice win the other night against Swan, where we got our win the basketball game right there. Had a tough loss against a very talented striker team right there. I think we were up at halftime right there. Striker picked up their defensive intensity a little bit and started picking on some of our smaller guards in the post right there, and they made us pay. And credit to Coach Varner, Coach Roofer on the staff right there of taking advantage of that right there for us and make us look silly in the post.
Yep, that happens. I know you then you go out then to Montpelier. You have them on the road, I believe, this Saturday. That should be a good challenge.
Yeah, so we have them this Friday night at their
Friday.
place right
I'm sorry.
there.
Yep.
Yep, and they bring a lot of nice girls back right there that say they got beat by Eden last night, but I don't think that's really an inclination of how they played throughout the year so far, what we've seen on film right there. I mean, a lot of 4-out-1 emotion right there, a lot of chaos with a lot of actions close to the basketball, so communication can be very big for us on Friday night, or they can make us look silly if we don't communicate.
Well, before Dave gets his question here, how about give me some girls that are playing for you this year, some of your top players that you're counting on?
Say Addison Chung, she was a first-team All-District, All-BBC last year for us right there. I mean, she's off to a good start for us this year. I mean, it really sets a tone for us on the defensive end and running to the point for us as well. Kelsey Storr, she was second-team District 7 last year and second-team BBC as well. Man, just doing a lot of little things on the floor right now that are not necessarily showing up in the stat sheet right now, but she plays such a key role for us on the little things that we do like there. Kennedy Kunkel, she's coming back as a sophomore right there, coming off the bench last year, stepping up in a starting role this year. I think she's probably getting about 8 and 6 this year so far for us this year, along with a Willow Mitchell, who does a little bit of everything for us right there, just kind of that nice steadying piece for us right there that, I mean, it makes my job a little bit easier being a coach's kid right there. Like, I'm at ease when Willow's on the floor, and it's tough to take her off the floor at any point in time right there. Mesa Gorsuch coming off the bench last year, one of our defensive stoppers right there. She's scoring the basketball a lot easier right now coming for us. Monroe Simon coming off the bench, being our 6th girl off the bench right there. I mean, it's nice to have some depth right there with an Ellie Williams or a Macy Beers or Shelby Phillips and Allie Kessler as well coming off for us right there. Like, we have a nice group of girls right there, and hopefully we just continue to grow throughout the season.
Well, thank you on that. That was good.
Well, let's transition to some of your league opponents, Coach. Going to do a little segment we're going to call Drive-By Breakdown. So I'm just going to give you the name of the school, and you just kind of give us your whatever comes to mind, a phrase or something about that particular team or school. Let's start with Eden.
Oh, big and talented. Say they give some teams to fit this year so far with their size from in their post and into their guards. Like, they're going to give some teams trouble this year.
Okay, let's jump to the Holgate Tigers.
I'll say well coached with Coach Fisher down there. They had Wayno on his staff last year. Like, they got us last year because they had a very good game plan against us. So they're going to be very well coached and very well prepared.
And Hilltop.
Say they're more than what Libby Baker was just last year. Like, we told our girls going in this year, like, there's plenty of girls left on that regional basketball team right there. And Troy does a great job right there playing within their system. And I think they got another big win last night against North Central, and they beat Tinora the other night. So, like, they're going to be better than what people think they're going to be.
You've talked about Montpelier, next foe. Let's give a little more viewpoint on Montpelier.
I say, and they're still young. They say they're developing and growing still. Like, they lost all their starters pretty much from last year, but with Zoe Uribe's coming back and some of their girls on their staff right there, on their team right there, like, it's going to take some time for them to develop and grow right there. And by the time the season with Coach Bum right there, they're going to be very well prepared, and they're going to be able to play some basketball and win some games that people think that they're not going to be able to win, and they're going to hopefully catch some people.
Okay, let's go to North Central. A new coach up at North Central.
I'd say, and they gave us fits last year. I think we handled them pretty good the first time. And the 2 games after that, they were very contested games with a Caitlin Myers bringing the point guard, very physical with them right there. Mia Lawson as well as shooting the basketball right there. I'm like, and they caused some chaos on the defensive end. I think they played some 1-2-2 half-court trap last night. They diamond and won us. They box and won us. I'm like, they're very unpredictable what type of scheme they're going to run against us. So it's going to give us some teams some fits as well.
Okay. Pettisville.
Coach Walfogel, they have them so well coached right there. That's the biggest thing right there. I think it's just plug and replace some of those girls coming back from year to year right there. I mean, yet again, losing Olivia Miller right there, like that's going to be a big hit for them right there. But I mean, they're still plenty talented with the Strauss girl coming off. There's another Miller coming as well, so that's how it's going to be fun in the next 3-4 years with her. I mean, they're just well coached. They're going to play within their system right there and just cause some big chaos as well.
And you've already talked about Stryker a little more detail on the Stryker Lady Panthers.
Oh, so talented throughout. Like their numbers are up, so I think they caused some more chaos on the defense. And they started to press us a little bit the other night, which I think we did a good job of handling it. But just the amount of depth that they have coming off the bench, I think they brought the Fault girl who had to be the sixth man last year coming off the bench. She hit a 3 against us. There was another girl, freshman, came off the bench. I mean, she hit a 3 against us right there. I mean, they're so well coached within their system as well right there, and athletic. Like, and with their size and strength right there, and they were very aggressive. I think they caused us a little bit of fits the other night.
Well, that's some good stuff there, Travis. I appreciate that information. How about as we wind down here, you made a transition from the guys program to the girls. What was the reason? What made you make that move from the guys to the girls?
I've been involved with the girls programs before. I was a year interim coach at North Central when Steve Bowling was still right there, and my wife was actually coaching there at the time. And really, I mean, basketball is still basketball. The personalities are still the personalities. I'm like, every kid is different. And whether it's the boys or the girls right there, I'm like, we still got to coach those personalities. And that doesn't matter whether it's boys or girls right there. So then I go back to Eden again with Coach Rippey right there. And with Kayla Walker being on set right there, she asked me to come in a couple of times right there. I'm like, and it's very enjoyable. It's like they're pretty much a lot of learn-it-alls instead of know-it-alls right there for the most part. And those personalities are great to rub off on you right there. I mean, and the girls' game is different. Like, I'm learning as we go right there. I told our girls as well, like, I'm not going to be perfect. I'm still learning, and it's a different game. It's like the court might get shrunk a little bit right there instead of the boys. Like, we were living up close to the rim, with the girls' game is down at the lower end right there. And given a year and a half ago, I had a unique opportunity with my wife being an official, and actually my wife was working some of the parents right there. Like, she says, that job ever open up? I think we have some talent coming, and that'd be an opportunity that you want to take advantage of right there. And luckily, Courtney Kessler gave me this opportunity to be the head person of this program right there, and I'm very grateful for it. Like, it's a great game. The game is growing throughout the time right there, and like, hopefully, like, as the last night when we played Stryker the other night, like, our gym was packed full of people, and I think we're excited about girls basketball in the area.
Well, that's great. And we certainly appreciate you sharing with us, Travis. That's some really good stuff you had. And we certainly wish you and the Lady Eagles all the best. And thanks for your time again.
Nope, I do appreciate it, guys. Thank you for covering some Fayette girls basketball.
There you go. No problem. Yep.
Thanks for your time. Good luck.
All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
All right.
Time now to thank our sponsors for Season 2 of Northwest Ohio Hoop Chat. Our title sponsor this season, the Terry Hendricks Auto Group. Terry Hendricks sells and services new and used vehicles with a reputation for professional service. Visit or contact both Terry Hendricks Ford and Terry Hendricks Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Archbold. D&G Welding of Archbold. Call 419-445-5751 and ask about their mobile service. Rely on D&G Welding for all your welding needs. American Freedom Energy, located just off US 24 on Highway 109 by Liberty Center. If you're traveling in the area, stop in for a fuel fill-up of high-quality Marathon gasoline. And while you're there, pop into Grandma's General Store. You'll find locally produced grocery items from local Henry, Fulton, Defiance, and Williams County producers. Ward's Power Sports and Carts in South Archbold, your hometown experts for top-quality golf carts and UTVs. Stop by or go to www.wardscarts.com and see why they're the area's trusted choice. S&W Mills of Archbold, proud supporters of the Archbold Blue Streaks and all our area students and athletes. Call S&W Mills of Archbold for all of your animal bedding needs at 419-445-5206. Viking Trucking in Ridgeville Corners. They provide reliable transportation for your construction materials like stone, dirt, asphalt, rough material. They handle all types of heavy materials for your construction needs. Call 419-267-3319. Viking Trucking, where quality doesn't cost, it performs. Thiel Construction in Blakesley. They excel in custom residential and commercial construction services. They offer custom home building, remodeling, commercial build-outs, and project management. Trust Thiel Construction for your next construction project. Also, while you're in Blakesley, visit the Thiel Supply Center. From power tools to plumbing supplies, they offer everything needed to tackle any job. The Sherwood State Bank, with branches in Sherwood, Defiance, Archbold, and Fayette, offering banking and financial services for consumers, business, agriculture, and investments. Call the main branch at 419-899-2111 or visit one of the local 4 branches nearest you. And Innovatech Solutions of Archbold, your trusted technology partner. Call 419-445-8088 to learn more about their many services or visit them online at innovatechsolutions.net. That's Innovatech with a K, solutions.net. Thanks to all our sponsors for Northwest Ohio Hoop Chat Season 2, and we do sincerely hope that you, our listeners, will patronize these fine businesses. And if you enjoy Hoop Chat, thank our sponsors for supporting the program.
I want to welcome head coach Scott McMichael from the Lady Antwerp Archers. Scott, appreciate you taking time.
Hey, no problem. Enjoy it.
Well, you're starting your 11th year at the helm of the Lady Archers, and what I found interesting, this is your 30th year in coaching total. That is very impressive.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Time goes fast.
No doubt. And it has, when you're having fun, it sure does.
Yeah.
You started. I know you've been the guys programs before. You're doing guys, and you've gone now to the girls. What's the difference you see between coaching the guys and the girls? Any difference at all?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of differences. Starting out, I always kid with the ladies are always a little cleaner than the guys as far as hygiene, but on top of that, there's just subtle differences as far as guys maybe have a little more basketball IQ at times than girls, and those are the things I find. I enjoy the girls' side of it. I feel like it's a little less pressure. I don't know if that was self-induced, but I just felt like stepping over the girls' side, I felt a little less pressure. And I think the girls just, they're there to compete. And we get on that bus afterwards, 5 minutes down the road, and they're back there having a good time. And sometimes guys let it linger too long. And so I enjoy that part of the girls being able to let it go, even though we didn't play well or something. The bus ride home, they enjoy themselves. So there's a couple of the differences.
There you go. Last year we had one of your seniors on our one of our shows, Caroline Roars, and Caroline's no longer in your program, but you have a few girls back. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your 2026 version of the Lady Archers?
Sure. I'd like to have Caroline back.
I bet you would.
No, we got two starters back. Briley Bagley was an honorable mention all conference last year, averaged around eight a game. Nice shooter.
Yeah, she made a bunch of threes the other night.
Yeah, set the new school record, hit 7 in a game the other night. So she's trying to expand her game to get off the dribble a little bit and get to the rim. So she's one of the returning starters. The other one is Eliana Horman, kind of post player, kind of an energy girl for us, really good defender, probably our best defender. And then we do have another Roars girl coming. She's a sophomore. She's another point guard. I think she's going to be very good. She's kind of our leader, floor leader right now already as a sophomore. But she's given us good minutes. The other starter is a senior, Rayleigh Franklin, girl that can shoot it some for us. And then we have Aaliyah Friend, who's given us some minutes at the post position. And a couple girls coming off the bench, Gabby Snyder, Miley Jules, and our other senior, and Avery Honifer. So we really are only going 8 deep, kind of thin numbers this year. It seems like girls basketball, everyone's struggling with numbers, but
we've heard that with other teams too.
Yeah, it's all over. So that's kind of our group right there. Hardworking, coachable girls that are fun to be around on and off the floor.
Well, that's good. I see you're 1-1 starting the season, and what do you have next? I didn't write down who your next game is.
We got Holgate coming up.
Okay.
Tomorrow night. So road test for us. I think they're kind of a younger team like us, in the same kind of learning situation we are as youth and trying to grow as the season goes. So I think it'll be a good matchup for us.
All right. Well, there you go.
Well, let's talk about some of the league opponents, Coach, that you're going to be facing. We're going to call this drive-by breakdown, and just going to give you the name of that guy. We know him.
We know him.
We know him.
Tell him get our picture.
Getting joined here.
Hey, Coach Bills.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good.
We're going to do a drive-by breakdown, Scott. So give us a quick rundown of our little phrase. Let's start with Ayersville, the Pilots.
Ayersville, they got the Waldron girl. They're a younger group. This girl probably led by her, but a scrappy little bunch, plays hard. Coach gives them a lot of effort, and they present some challenges that way. The Waldron girls are a really good athlete, so
Okay.
be a good matchup for us.
Okay, Edgerton.
Edgerton kind of goes with the Farnham girl. She's returning. She's going to play next level, and a nice player, and a lot of veterans around them. They should be quality team this year.
Nice.
Fairview.
Fairview, I think the Hammer girl has really stung us the last couple of years and shoots it really well against Antwerp. I think we might be her favorite team, but they got some younger girls joining her. It's going to be a tough game. I think they're an up-and-comer.
Hicksville.
Hicksville's got some returning players. The Mole girl, a couple other starters back. I think they've got some younger girls joining. I think that's a group that's on the rise.
Good. Paulding.
Paulding, I think one of my favorites. One of the favorites in the league got to be. They got a lot returning. They got the big girl coming back, Dunham. They got a Pease girl that handles the ball, a Slaughter girl that's a great on-ball defender. They're a big challenge for anybody.
And then the last two teams, ironically, both have new coaches. Let's start with the Tinora Rams.
Tinora, the Oakley girls back. They've always got a lot of athletes. Just an athletic bunch. It'll be different to see with the new coach what happens, but they're going to be in the mix also.
Well, and then finally down in Wayne Trace, the Raiders, the Lady Raiders.
Trace, they got the big girl that's a mismatch for most.
Yeah.
And then they got, I think they got the two best on-ball defenders in the league with the Winan sisters. So they've done a lot of pressure on you. They're like a one-man press. So I look for them to be at the top too.
Yeah, very good. That's some good stuff there, Scott. And hey, real quick before we wrap up, how about go back to your own team again? You've doing a lot of man-to-man, you're playing zone. What's up your alley there?
Well, I kind of changed with personnel, but we're playing a little more zone this year just because we're short numbered and we're stature-wise, we're kind of small too. So we're playing a little zone, trying to get away from some mismatches in the post area. But, we played some 1-3-1. We're kind of notorious to play 1-3-1 over here.
Yeah, I've heard that, yeah.
Yeah, we've changed a little bit. Just with our personnel, that's what we're doing a little bit more this year.
Okay, well, hey, Scott, we sure appreciate you taking your time. I know you got a lot of things to do, got practice and so forth, and want to wish you and your lady archers all the best. Thank you a lot.
Thanks, guys, for the coverage.
You betcha.
Take
Have
care.
a good day.
Thanks, Coach.
Sure.
I want to welcome head coach Bryan Leppelmeier to our Hoop Chat. Lep, appreciate you taking the time with us.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Well, it's your 10th year at the helm of the Pettisville Blackbirds, 137 wins over those 10 years. Gone kind of fast, hasn't it?
It has. It's just feels like we kind of, our staff just kind of took over the boys program yesterday. But yeah, starting year number 10. It's hard to believe that we finished 9 years already.
Yeah, 18-5 last year, 6-1 the league, tied with the league champions with Hilltop and or Eden and Montpelier.
And Eden.
Yep. And that's impressive. But as I look at your season last year and even this year, your schedule, you guys are very, very competitive non-league schedule. It's very impressive.
Thanks. Yeah, Montpelier joined the BBC, Holgate joined the BBC, and that kind of eliminated the double round robin. So we went out and picked up a lot of teams we scrimmaged. Paulding, Bryan, added TC, picked up Delphus St. John's last year, have them coming to our place a couple days after Christmas. We're looking forward to that. So, it's a challenge, but it's also fun. It's fun competing against those teams.
You betcha, and that prepares you well for anything come tournament trails as well down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take a look at your squad this year. You're 1-0 as we speak. You got the Panthers tomorrow. And I believe that's at Stryker. You get their little road trip. Why don't you give us some information on your squad this year off of last year's 18-5 season?
Returned 3 starters. Returned Jack Leppelmeier as our starting point guard. He's bringing back 20 points a game. Creighton Ashman, another 3-year letter winner, and Josh Morris coming back as a first-year letter winner. Had a nice night the other night. We had him in double figures. Alex Galvin's another starter, another varsity player. He was our sixth man. He's in the starting lineup, and then graduated Mason Wise and Caden Bishop, and Caden's younger brother Ryan, lefty post player, rounds out the starting lineup. And coming off the bench, we have Aiden Crawford as another senior. Sam Hastings is a sophomore. Xander Holgrave as a freshman has really kind of stepped in and given us some valuable ball handling and played a nice game at Delta in his first varsity time on Friday.
Oh, that's good stuff. And as I look at your team, and you mentioned Jack, Dave and I both had the pleasure of coaching our sons in their careers and so forth. Dave had 3 sons he coached. I just had the one. But what's the pros and cons? What's been your thinking of coaching your son and sons, for that matter?
You first off, you tell them, and you kind of have to sit down and talk with them, and I think they know that they have to be the hardest worker out there. Bar none, that you have to work extremely hard, harder than anybody else. And as a coach, you can be very honest that you're a little harder on probably your sons than maybe somebody else. But I think that's the expectation that you have. Well, on the other side of it, it's great to have a front row seat, to see what they're doing. I got into coaching before I had kids, and you kind of think anytime you see a father coaching a son or a daughter, they think, that they're in it because their kids are in it. Well, I've been around long enough doing this, and I was in it well before that. So It's just been nice, as that if you've been in it long enough that your kids come through and you've had that opportunity, and also have other great kids around them to coach has made it a blast.
100%. Yep.
And you're making memories down the road that the two of you will have and share, and that's neat too as well. But hey, let's jump into a little segment, Bryan, that we're going to call Drive-By Breakdown, and just going to ask you as we review all the league schools. Give us your quick thoughts of each of these schools as we progress. So let's start with BBC Faux Eden Bombers.
First thing that comes to mind is just physical. Big kids, physical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How about Fayette?
Rivalry. A lot of years going against Coach Mitchell. So I view him as a very close friend and just loved going against his teams. And I know that, I have Coach Lindsay now, but just a rivalry.
Sure. Hilltop.
Athletic. I'd just say, and just an athletic team. They're always going to have athletic kids.
Okay. You mentioned Holgate joining the league. Let's talk about the Tigers.
Well prepared, hardworking. A lot of times, I think, very similar to us, type of kids that they have.
Mm-hmm. Montpelier.
Again, athletic and skilled.
Right. North Central, new coach.
New coach, again, I will say athletic and skilled. It's just very athletic kids.
Okay, doke. And let's go to my old stomping grounds. It's kind of ironic. You mentioned you got Stryker coming up. My very first coaching game as a varsity coach was Pettisville at Stryker on the stage of Stryker. I have great memories of that. So let's talk about the Stryker Panthers.
On the stage. Again, I think that's another one that goes into anytime you say Pettisville Stryker, it's a rivalry. I don't care what the records are. The game's usually a low-scoring game, and there's been double overtimes. There's been, just good games, and it just feels like every game is the exact same game over and over again.
Well, Groundhog Day.
Yes.
Yep. Lep, you guys, as we said earlier, you're 1-0. You got that first win over Delta, I believe it was, and you still had to go back to practice. I'm sure there's some things you said after game one that you said we got to get better in this area or this area. And people say the old adage is you improve a lot from game one to game two. So tomorrow night when you go against Stryker, what are you looking to improve?
Well, I think that what we did well against Delta. They play that zone and going against that zone, game one has always been a struggle. And Coach Brighton and their staff, they do a great job with that zone, and it's been a struggle for us. Yep. It's the first time I think we've won at Delta, and the two prior trips there we lost. So played very well there. Didn't play very well when we had the lead. Had some turnovers there late. So it's just one of those things of making sure that, of playing the complete game. Thought we kind of came out the first 2 quarters, played really hard, and then had a little bit of a letdown. So that's what we're looking for, is just that consistent effort. Transition defense is always the biggest thing, and that's probably where we gave up a lot of some of the points. We just weren't getting back, didn't get matched up. They get an open shot, and the dominoes start to fall a little bit on the defensive end.
Well, that's some good stuff, and like I said, you can always look to improve. As you look back in your coaching career, what would you tell a young Coach Leppelmeier when you first started, your coaching career? What would you tell a young coach as they start? Some advice.
And I actually have had, somebody, a former player, he's coaching like a rec team, and asked me, and I would go back and try to keep the game as simple as possible. Even we always start the year and you get a little excited, we're going to do this and that. And it really comes down to, catching, passing, just simple things. And the better you are at that, the kids are more confident. Confidence is skill. And it's not me saying, hey, you're a great shooter, you're all of that. It's you're putting in the time. So I think it's just those little things. So really try to work on, you kind of get in the season, you want to work on your team, but you also have to work on that skill development. So there's that balancing act. And not every kid that we have is going to be, I don't expect that out of the kids. Not everybody's going to be in the gym in the off season. Some of these kids, basketball might be their third favorite sport. We love those guys, need those guys. But so you still have to do that skill development, throughout the season. So that's probably what I tell the young coaches: try to keep it as simple as possible, and a lot can be accomplished with that.
Yep, that's good stuff. And I always say, hey, just be yourself. Don't try to be somebody else either.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good stuff and good advice for any coaches at any level. So.
You betcha. So, hey, Lep, we appreciate your time, and thank you for sharing with us. And we wish you and Blackbirds all the best. We're going to see your Blackbirds here sometime. I think it's in December. Don't you play the Blue Streaks in December, or do you play them in January?
Got the Streaks on December 30th.
That's what I thought. It's Christmas time. Yep. Oh, hey, we appreciate it, and hey, all the best to you, Bryan.
Hey, thanks, fellas. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Bryan.
We'll see you.
Good luck to you. Hey, we want to bring on to the Hoop Chat Kris Lymanstall, head coach of the Tinora Rams. Kris is now beginning his 5th season with the Rams. Last year had a very successful 17-5 season, co-champs in the GMC 6-1. So, hey, congratulations on that success, and hey, welcome.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. It's really good to talk basketball with you guys.
It's a great time of the year to do it, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, absolutely.
Always a good time. Hey, you've already started your season 1-1 at this stage of the season, and Friday night I got you going to Delta, and then you got a home game with Napoleon on Saturday. Got a big weekend ahead of you.
Yeah, it got pretty busy, with the cancellation last Saturday. So yeah, we're booked this week. Going to be more about recuperation and rest and body management, and see if we can get through it.
Well, I'm sure you will. You coming off that great 17-5 season, you have 4 returners. You had lost some key personnel from last year. Why don't you give us a little rundown on this year's squad, and give us some information on what's some of the main challenges for the Rams as we look ahead.
Yeah, we lost probably 80% of our scoring, so we got that void to fill. Good news is we have 2 starters returning. Both guys played significant minutes last year, but they weren't relied on as heavily as they are going to be this year.
Yeah. Who are those guys? I'm sorry.
That'd be Owen Farrell was our starting point guard. He's actually sick right now with mono. He's our second case of mono, so we've been kind of fighting the injury bug and the flu bug and all the other sicknesses you could possibly have. So we're dealing with that right now. But Josh Lieb is the other one. He averaged about 10 a game, rebounds well for us, and he's a pretty solid defender as well. So, and the other guys came off the bench. That'd be Dylan Shively and Parker Hancock, both looking to really step up their role this year and contribute heavily.
Yeah, very good.
Well, we want to get into learning more about your conference opponents, Coach. So we're going to do a little drive-by breakdown of each of your foes in the GMC. So let's start at the top with Antwerp.
Antwerp, I got 2 things there. good system, well coached, and then you got Zane McMichael that can really turn the tide of a game in a hurry.
Yep,
absolutely. Defiance County foe, Ayersville.
Ooh, Ayersville. I'd call them pretty explosive. I think they're pretty excited on the new up-tempo game that they're going to try to impose their will a little bit.
Jump up to Edgerton.
Edgerton, another very fundamentally sound group. Dwayne's Matt Ripke guy, so they're going to be tough, physical, and well balanced. They'll be very, very solid.
Hicksville,
maybe young, new faces. They're gonna play really, really hard. They're gonna try to play up tempo, and they're gonna be competitive each night.
Another Defiance County foe, the Fairview Apaches.
Yeah, tough group, gritty group. They know how to win. They're coming off their football season, so they're going to be very athletic. Talking to some, I think they're going to get back to some Fairview ways where they try to get up and down and really, really get in your face defensively.
Mm-hmm. Paulding
might return one of the most talented rosters that we've seen around here in a while. They're really battle tested with the Player of the Year in Roundhouse, and yeah, they're going to be really, really talented and scary and deep.
And another school you might be familiar with have a new coach this year, the Wayne Trace Raiders.
Yeah, it's unfamiliar territory with not having a Raider on the sideline there, but he's been a part. Noah's been a part of it for the last couple of years, and he knows the community, the system well. So they return very similar roster than they had last year. So I'm sure they're expected to win right away over there. That's what they do.
Well, appreciate the quick rundown, and it's always good to learn about your foes and what you think of your opponents. So,
how about you mentioned we talked about your league schools? How about some of your non-conference games that you have? You've already guys played 2 already, 1-1 as we mentioned. Looking ahead, we got the Delta Napoleon this weekend, and let's look down the road a little bit too as you look at your non-conference as well.
Yeah, we tried to, beef it up a little bit in terms of size of school. So obviously we played Napoleon this weekend. They're always big, physical, way more athletic than what we are. So down the road, you're looking at the Patrick Henrys, and we are Liberty Center's first game again, I believe. So that's always nice when they get out of the football season.
They got to bang you guys around.
yeah, that's always fun. We're always undersized and not quite as athletic, so we got to do things right, and that seems to be a trend every game. But you're looking at we play pretty much everybody in the NWOAL now. We picked up Evergreen this year, so they're very athletic.
Oh my, yeah.
And then we go down the road later in the year. You're looking at league schedule is going to be tough, but then you're also looking at the Wauseons coming up and. Schools like that.
Yeah, I knew you had a nice schedule. That's why I wanted to bring that up. That's impressive. That'll get your battle tested. As you look at this weekend after your first 2 games, what are some things you want to see out of your guys? What are you looking to improve on?
Yeah, I think with any young group, you're looking for that consistency. With our schedules the way they are, high school kids, they're all over the place. And, with the sickness and injuries, you're trying to get as much consistency in practice as you can. And that's tough to do with our circumstances right now, but that's really what you're looking for and to help them mature. We always talk about what our improvement looks like, and it's not really you're going to become better shooters overnight or better scorers overnight. It's more you got to limit the mistakes, and you learn to limit the mistakes, and that's kind of what improvement looks like for us.
Oh, there you go. That's good stuff.
Absolutely.
Hey, Limey, we appreciate your time here this afternoon, and we certainly wish you all the best. We always root for you. You do a great job, and want to wish you and the Rams all the best.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it very much.
Thanks so much, Kris. Good luck to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Time now to thank our sponsors for Season 2 of Northwest Ohio Hoop Chat. Our title sponsor this season, the Terry Hendricks Auto Group. Terry Hendricks sells and services new and used vehicles with a reputation for professional service. Visit or contact both Terry Hendricks Ford and Terry Hendricks Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Archbold. D&G Welding of Archbold. Call 419-445-5751 and ask about their mobile service. Rely on D&G Welding for all your welding needs. American Freedom Energy, located just off US 24 on Highway 109 by Liberty Center. If you're traveling in the area, stop in for a fuel fill-up of high-quality Marathon gasoline. And while you're there, pop into Grandma's General Store. You'll find locally produced grocery items from local Henry, Fulton, Defiance, and Williams County producers. Ward's Power Sports and Carts in South Archbold, your hometown experts for top-quality golf carts and UTVs. Stop by or go to www.wardscarts.com and see why they're the area's trusted choice. S&W Mills of Archbold, proud supporters of the Archbold Blue Streaks and all our area students and athletes. Call S&W Mills of Archbold for all of your animal bedding needs at 419-445-5206. Viking Trucking in Ridgeville Corners. They provide reliable transportation for your construction materials like stone, dirt, asphalt, rough material. They handle all types of heavy materials for your construction needs. Call 419-267-3319. Viking Trucking, where quality doesn't cost, it performs. Theo Construction in Blakesley. They excel in custom residential and commercial construction services. They offer custom home building, remodeling, commercial build-outs, and project management. Trust Theo Construction for your next construction project. Also, while you're in Blakesley, visit the Theo Supply Center. From power tools to plumbing supplies, they offer everything needed to tackle any job. The Sherwood State Bank, with branches in Sherwood, Defiance, Archbold, and Fayette, offering banking and financial services for consumers, business, agriculture, and investments. Call the main branch at 419-899-2111 or visit one of the local 4 branches nearest you. And Innovatech Solutions of Archbold, your trusted technology partner. Call 419-445-8088 to learn more about their many services or visit them online at innovatechsolutions.net. That's Innovatech with a K, solutions.net. Thanks to all our sponsors for Northwest Ohio Hoop Chat Season 2, and we do sincerely hope that you, our listeners, will patronize these fine businesses. And if you enjoy Hoop Chat, thank our sponsors for supporting the program. We're approaching the final buzzer. Time out, huddle up. We're going to end today's program with a view from the bench, guys. Here's a question carrying over from last season as we've been inviting people to contact you through X or also contact you through our email account, which we will get to you a little bit later on in the program when we're done here. But view from the bench. The question carrying over from last year, one of the catchphrases or one of the kind of trendy terms in basketball right now, strategically and in coaching, is positionless basketball. Positionless basketball. What are your thoughts on positionless basketball?
What that basically refers to is the concept that there is not a point guard, or you're not a wing, or you're not a post. You can play any and all of those positions, and that's really where I think teams are trying to progress to. And what they're doing is developing players at young ages to do any and all of those things. To be the best ball handlers they can be, to be adequate in the post, to be go rebound, to do all the skills rather than just say, hey, I'm just going to be a point guard and my job is to dribble and pass, or my job is to be a post player or a center, and I'm supposed to be around the bucket and just put it in near the bucket or score off rebounds. Now, I think positionless basketball is a really good, solid concept, and I think it's there to develop players to their full potential in all phases, so they can do anything. And I think the better teams have done that for a while now.
Yeah, I agree, and no doubt. Oftentimes, especially at the younger levels, a kid's bigger than everybody else. So obviously, he's a 5-man or a post player. And guess what? Maybe he doesn't grow anymore by the time he gets to junior or senior or whatever. And now he's still the same size, but now he doesn't have a whole lot of perimeter skills. He doesn't shoot it well. He doesn't dribble it well. He doesn't pass it well because you know what? In his early years, he was just a post player. So, yeah, I agree. I think positionless and being no number system is great. I like being able to do that. And again, as Dave said, I think you'll see that. You're seeing that a lot with that. And I think what the other thing is, if you're a smaller guy, and maybe you never get big, but you know what? There's sometimes in the course of a game, you got to guard a bigger player. You got to say, okay, I'm going to guard him. If I got to guard a post player who's 5 inches taller than me, I'm going to guard him for this possession. And you got to learn how to do that. And I think that's good stuff.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks, guys. We appreciate your responses to that question. And listeners, once again, we invite you to drop us a line. You can ask questions about life, coaching, basketball, even funny situations that you'd like Dave and Doug to talk about on the program. You can find Hoop Chat on X and leave us a message at NW_OH_hoopchat. That's on X. Or you can email your questions to nwohiohoopchat. It's all one word, nwohiohoopchat @gmail.com. Thanks, as always, to our listeners, to Northwest Ohio Hoop Chat, and for joining us for this week's edition of Northwest Ohio Hoop Chat. And guys, final word on this first tip-off. You excited?
Yeah, we certainly are. And I'm excited a couple of things. One, about the show and the people that we had on today's show. We certainly appreciate their coming on, the coaches, busiest time of season for them, and they took the time to talk with us. And we certainly appreciate our sponsors, as we mentioned earlier as well. And, Tony, I'm looking forward to working the game tomorrow night here at Archbold against Edgerton.
Tonight.
That's right, Thursday.
That's right. Dave, what about you?
Well, I think to be remiss a little bit, we mentioned Liberty Center throughout the show. They're the only school who will have delayed their basketball season because of their extended football, and they'll play Saturday night. And so we certainly want to wish them well. And I saw Greg Badenhop the other night, and I said, hey, you got one more game to get him through healthy, and that's all I hope for. Get him through healthy.
I understand that.
Blessing and a curse all in one thing, right?
Absolutely.
This has been a production of WMTR Sports. For Doug and Dave Krause, I'm producer Ryan Throne, and as we always say,
see you courtside.